What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. Haven't done one of these in a long time. I need to get my butt in gear, and I need to be doing some more lives. It really gives me a chance to interact with you guys interact with me, and you guys interact with the rest of y'all. So, we all know it's a new era in Indianapolis. We have a brand new quarterback. We finally have a young quarterback, not a 37-year-old, not a 38-year-old, not a big question mark, besides the past, like, a question mark Carson Wentz has, or like an old buck QB like Matt Ryan or Phillip Rivers. We have a young quarterback. The sky is the limit. There is so much to look forward to, but we also need to realize there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. A lot of stuff needs to come to fruition. There needs to be a lot of change still, and we're going to see. The only way we're going to see how that is coming along is live action, the actual game. Yeah, training camp is important for some players to keep some spots, make some roster spots maybe. But really, the real crap happens in the regular season. That's when it matters most. What is up, Volcano? Not going to say that whole name. Well, what is up, man? How are you doing? How do you feel about your Titans schedule? Have you looked at the Colts schedule? How do you think the Titans are going to do this year? I want to hear from a Titans fan's perspective, because Titans are an interesting team. Seems like you could predict them doing all right or bad. They have great coaching. Players, a bit of a question. That roster is a bit of a question mark, but there's a lot to be excited for over there. I think I like Will Levis. He definitely has some issues for concern, but Levis, he's a very interesting quarterback prospect. Could be very good, but I think the chances of him being good are much, much lower. I think his chances of being pretty bad, much higher. Then we have John Gilbert. So pumped for this season. Let's go. What is up, man? How you doing? How are you doing, man? Appreciate you stopping by. Gold4307. What up, man? What's popping? How's everything going? Appreciate you stopping by. Inside the Horseshoe. Yo, what is up? How you doing, bro? How you doing, Matt? Hope you're doing good. What do you think about the schedule? You probably posted a video. I just didn't check around yet. But thank you for stopping by. Thank you, Volcano. I see you commented again. I think I already said thank you, but thank you once again. I really appreciate you stopping by. I think Titans going to be 10-7. Okay, that's respectable. I mean, I think there's some work that needs to be done, in terms of, I wonder how the offensive line is going to come together, wonder how that defense is going to look, but I think the Titans are capable of being a good football team. The Colts, you guys are probably going to be pretty disappointed, you Colts fans, of what I have the Colts going here. Not very high on them. I don't think they're going to win many games. There's just too many question marks, and this is where we come into our first questions of the day is, how long is it going to take Anthony Richardson to become the guy, if he does become the guy? That's a big two-parter right there. It's probably going to take a while, and with only having 13 starts in college, 12 last year, inexperience is a big question. Inexperience is a big issue with him, having only played 13 games compared to some of these other guys. They played quite a bit. Will Levis played a bit, CJ Stroud played a bit, Bryce Young played a bit, and Anthony Richardson, you're kind of just banking on the upside and being like, damn, he's got a lot of upside. You look at the Josh Allens, Lamar Jacksons, those kind of prospects that were raw, that really needed to be developed. Those teams took chances on them, and look what happened. Sometimes it hits home. Sometimes it doesn't. Look at Kyler Murray. He was an athletic freak. Not, size-wise. He wasn't bulky. He wasn't tall. But he just hasn't worked out. It doesn't seem like he has the mindset to stay in the NFL. I don't really like how, sometimes he brings things to social media. It's just, very unprofessional the way he handles things at times. And, I think he could be a very dynamic football player. He is already a dynamic quarterback. More so in the run game. Passing game, he's good. It just seems like he's inconsistent. He doesn't put in the work. It doesn't seem like he's a leader. That's thing is, when you take a shot on some of these guys, they're either going to be great, like a Josh Allen, or they're going to be crappy, like a Kyler Murray. Tim Tebow, Florida Gator. He was considered out by ceiling. He was pretty impressive coming out. What happened to him? It's the reality that we have to take a look at. That there's a good chance that Anthony Richardson isn't the guy, and he doesn't become the quarterback that we ever expect him to. Now, what I will say is he has a very high ceiling, whether it's running the ball, whether it's throwing the ball. He has a big home run ability, grand slam ability, but the issue is he going to find consistency? That's another thing. In college, he was inconsistent. And it's going to take a good coaching staff. It's going to take some patience until Anthony Richardson is the guy. Now, Cam Newton, right? That's a guy a lot of people didn't expect to play really well right away. A lot of people thought that Cam Newton was going to take some time. He came out and he shined pretty quickly. But it's not going to be like that for everyone. Josh Allen took him 2 or 3 years. What? Yeah, like 2 or 3 years. Daniel Jones, right away, he was buns. And we all thought the Giants drafted him at 6 was a horrible idea. Turns out he's the best he's probably the best option at that time. Really. You look at the other quarterbacks just didn't make it. Dwayne Haskins, I'm not, rest in peace, man. I'm not getting into him. But at the end of the day, the Giants have to be pretty happy about drafting Daniel Jones in that draft. Honestly, after this year, I could see Daniel Jones becoming a top 10 quarterback. A very good quarterback, very accurate. It's just how I want to see production in the air, and now that not having as much weapons hurts as well. And that's where the Colts kind of changed this year. They have some weapons. They have some damn good some good receivers. Michael Pittman. It's a big year for him. I want to see him bounce back. He kind of ticked me off last year. I want to see, he fumbled a few times, dropped a few passes where he could have quite easily caught them. I want to see Michael Pittman find some consistency and really have a big comeback year from last year, because last year was not great. I wasn't happy with the results from Pittman last year. Yeah, the quarterback play was pretty crappy. We had 4 different starting quarterbacks throughout the season, right? We had Matt Ryan, Sam Ellinger, Nick Foles. I think that was it, actually. Yeah, I think that was it. So we had 4 different quarterbacks, and it's not easy going, every single year having to change a quarterback. In that one season, you have 4 different ones, and hopefully that helps Pittman out. Maybe he'll have someone that'll be there for a little while. Alec Pierce, he had some nice flashes, but let's not get too excited. Even though you absolutely loved what you've seen he did last year. The game that I went to, the Jacksonville Jaguars game at home in Indianapolis, at Lucas Oil, him catching that game-winning pass was the best moment of the year for the Colts. That was the best game of the year. And Matt Ryan had an incredible year. The protection was solid. Don't remember if Jonathan Taylor played in that game. No, he didn't. Jonathan Taylor didn't even play that game. It was just a really fun game to be at, and that play by Alec Pierce, you're like, damn, Pierce, he showed up in the biggest moment. And he's had a few games there. He had a good stretch where he had, 3-4 catches, or at least 60 receiving yards per game. I really liked what he showed, but we have to see if he's going to make that step. We have to see if he's going to find some consistency and ultimately be that guy from year to year. I think Alec Pierce can be a good receiver. We just got to see it. We could talk about it all we want, and as podcasters, that's our job. It's fun to do, and that's why we do it. We like to talk about it, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter until they hit that field. It doesn't matter until they start producing. That's when you're like, damn, okay, he's here. And then you have Josh Downs, a lot of Colts Nation's favorite pick in the draft. Around 3, pick 79. A lot of people didn't expect him to go that far. A lot of people didn't expect him to drop that far. I heard some people, like the Go House, if you guys watch the Go House, I've heard very few people, some people I should say that they wouldn't be mad if he went towards the end of the first round. I'm like, okay. And, he's mainly going to work from the slot. He has some similarities to T.Y. Hilton. But ultimately, he could be a very dynamic slot receiver for us. Now, we have Isaiah McKenzie as well, but I think Josh Downs is going to be able to play on the outside as well. We have 2 pretty damn good slot receivers, and I think having some good slot receivers really helps a quarterback out. Big time. All right, let's get into some of these comments, and we'll keep talking here. Schedule should be fun. I'll probably post a video tomorrow. Nice. I'll watch. Absolutely. I have the Colts winning 3 to 5 games. I do think Richardson will show that he can be the guy towards the end of the season. Fair. I have the Colts winning 3 to 5 games as well. And I've seen some Twitter posts where some Colts fans when you're a fan, you tend to have a bit more optimism for your team than you should. You tend to be more on the optimistic side of the scale than realistic. 3 to 5 wins is realistic, not 11, not 10. I don't see 10 or 11 wins this season. Max 9. Max 9. Even if that, I don't know. I kind of feel like 9 is high. But this is a talented roster. It's still talented. Offensive line is talented. You have good linebackers. Bobby O leaving. It's whatever. I wouldn't want to pay him that much. He's good. He's worth the money. But you can't pay that much money to your linebackers. No way. You already paid $20 million a year to Shaquille Leonard. Cornerbacks, big question. I like Isaiah Rodgers, and I think he's a solid number 2. I'd like to see him step in number 1 to see how he performed, but he was very good last year, number 2. He was an incredible cornerback last year. Very good in man coverage, very good in zone. Lots to like about Isaiah from last year. But honestly, even if Isaiah Rodgers does play really well, who do you have behind him, other than Kenny Moore in the slot? You don't have anyone else. But now you have Julius Brents, can be a phenomenal fit in the cover 3. He's lengthy. He's got some speed. He's not crazy fast, but he's fast enough. He's good enough, and he's got length. He's got some great coverage skills with a lot of man upside. Julius Brents can be a really good corner. He really could be. And Darius Rush, considered quite the steal in the 5th round. I have high hopes for Darius Rush. I think he could be a solid. I think a lot of people deem that he would be a good man coverage corner, but I actually think he's going to be a pretty damn good I just completely lost my Darius Rush. I think he'll be a pretty good corner for us. I think he could be. Even if he doesn't start, I think he's a great depth option. All right, let's see what we got here. Jay, you think Tennessee will be a better team than Indianapolis? Probably. Ryan Tannehill at this moment is better than Anthony Richardson until we see what Anthony Richardson has. I think, what are their weapons? They have Treylon Burks. They drafted a good receiver too. I'm kind of blanking. Remind me of who you drafted. I want to hear who you drafted because I know you guys drafted a good receiver. I just can't think who you did, but I think you did. I'm just kind of blanking because I know you got Will Levis, of course. Do you think Will Levis is going to start week 1 or not? I don't think so. I think Ryan Tannehill is starting week 1. I think it's going to be a little while until we see Will Levis. Unless Ryan Tannehill gets hurt, which is possible. Ryan Tannehill doesn't seem to get hurt too much. He just seems to get dinged up here and there, but not really anything serious to miss time. I don't think we're going to see Will Levis for a little while. Thank God those days of Daniel Jones turning the ball over every 2 seconds are over. Hey, Harry, we had that last season with Matt Ryan. It wasn't too much. It wasn't too fun. And then the year prior, we had a quarterback throwing with their left hand. Yeah. I'm gonna throw my left hand. Oh, pick 6. We lose to the Titans. Yeah. So I guess it's time to start going over the schedule. I have a few notes written down for the first few games, and then we're gonna talk about every game, break down every single game, give my thoughts, what games we're gonna win, what games we're gonna lose. So first up, right. Getting a monkey off our back a little bit. We have a chance to get a monkey off our back. New era, new start, new beginnings, right? Anthony Richardson, new era. Shane Steichen, new head coach, new leader, new voice. Hopefully that new voice can get this team really motivated for week 1. Now, the Jaguars, I think, are going to be a solid football team. I still think the elephant is out, or the jury is still out on Trevor Lawrence. He's been a solid quarterback. He's been good. But he has to find consistency, and he has to find a way to be that guy. He was deemed as a generational talent. I have not seen that. We've definitely seen flashes. As Colts fans, we've seen the flashes, okay? But he hasn't shown it everywhere else. Week 1, we're at home. New era. Anthony Richardson, Shane Steichen, Jonathan Taylor's back. Shaquille Leonard will be back, barring any injuries. I feel like even if we play like crap the rest of the season, this is a big game. I feel like this is very important. I feel like it's a lot to say. It's kind of like crazy to say that the first game of the new era, the first game of, Anthony Richardson, Shane Steichen, I think it's very important because the way the Colts have been, they haven't won a game in week 1 forever. We haven't beaten the Jaguars. We struggle against the Jaguars pretty bad. We've had our good games here and there, especially in Jacksonville. We struggle, but week 1 as well is a big struggling point. We haven't won a week 1 game since like 2013. I think it was the Raiders we beat. So that gives you any idea. It's bad week 1, but having a new quarterback every week really doesn't help. I mean, yeah, we had injury luck for a couple of years there, but really having a new quarterback every year and maybe that voice, that same leadership voice as a head coach and Frank Reich getting old, maybe that's like, what's going to change? It's not changing. Something's wrong. It was a bunch of little things that they kept screwing up and they just couldn't get right. And now you have a new voice in the room. Sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes that's what these players need. You could tell once a star player checks out, once a Quentin Nelson checks out, once a highly respected veteran checks out, the rest of the team is gone. That's it. You're not getting them back. 99% of the time, you're not getting your team back once you lose them. You're not. Probably 100% of the time. Now, Shane Steichen, you have a new guy in the room. It feels like he has some confidence, and you've seen the media availability with Quentin Nelson. Quentin Nelson had some smiles on his face. He was excited. Even a Michael Pittman media availability in the middle, a little while ago before free agency, I think it was. He had a smile on his face. He was pumped up. I actually think it was when we drafted Anthony Richardson. Something like I don't know. But when the new era started, I think it was Shane Steichen being hired. It seemed like he was excited about that. He had a new sense of just football, loving the game, playing the game. And when you have a new voice, when you have a coach that's going to hold your players accountable, that's what happens. That's what happens. Frank Reich didn't hold his players accountable. He's like, he's a player's coach, and Shane Steichen is too. Difference is, Frank Reich was like, yeah, that's okay, we'll get it next time. Yeah, that's okay, we'll get it next time. Shane Steichen, no, he's going to hold you accountable. He's going to make sure you know they did it wrong. He's going to make sure that you do it right next time. He's going to make sure of it. Not just going to say it. He's going to take action. He's going to have some emotion in it. And, on the sideline, even on the sideline, Frank Reich had no emotion. He stood there, a bad play, oh, look at my play sheet, what's next? A good play, oh, look at my play sheet. No, it's not a good idea to go and pat your player on the shoulder, to go and give them some attention or, anything like that. He didn't do any of that. He didn't take to any of his players on the field. Maybe not off the field as well. And eventually he lost the locker room. A player's coach can only work for so long when you're losing. When you're winning, it's great. Look at Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll is a player's coach, and he does a pretty damn good job. If you win, you're going to stay respected. It works. You'll be fine. You start losing. You get the same old message every week. Nothing's working anymore. A strong message isn't being sent. No one's being held accountable. Kind of stuff's going to happen. It's not going to work. It's not going to take long until a team realizes and sees, wow, this really isn't the same. This really isn't it. And once your superstar players like Quentin Nelson, Shaquille Leonard just have a different look at media availabilities, you can't imagine how bad it is in the locker room. It changes. It changes everything. And sometimes a player's coach just doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't. But Jacksonville week 1, right? Week 1, Jaguars, not a good mix for the Colts, right? Jaguars have a pretty good defense. Run defense, I don't know too much about the run defense. I should have looked it up. I wrote some things down, but I'm assuming the run defense is all right. Let's see how it was last year. NFL run defense. Let's see. We'll look at right at NFL.com, right here. So, Jaguars, they're in the, looks like they're like middle of the pack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, they're like dead on in the middle of the pack almost. So, at number 15. So, they're all right. And they made a few changes. Trayvon Walker's going to have a second year. I think Josh Allen is, let's see about Josh Allen. I think something's going on with Josh Allen. Let's see. Jaguars depth chart. Let's look at the depth chart real quick. All right, so Jacksonville Jaguars depth chart, right? So Josh Allen is still on the team. You have Davon Hamilton. I like Davon Hamilton. course, Josh Allen. Yes, you have him. You have Trayvon Walker, Caleb Von Chase, and you have all these guys that are coming from the outside. Don't really know what, these guys on the inside really. So, it seems like the run defense would be all right. They have Devin Lloyd. I think he's a good line. I mean, they run that 3-4 defense. They run a different kind of defense a little bit, but I think the Colts would be able to run on them. And that's the big question for week 1 is the offensive line. That's one of the big questions. Offensive line, right? Pretty bad last year. Pretty horrible. When you're spending the most in the NFL on your offensive line, it's not even close. You better have a top 5 offensive line. A top 3 offensive line. It wasn't as bad as it was last year. I think we allowed 40-some sacks. 50 maybe? I think it was like 47, something like that. Maybe 57. Either way, it's horrible. It's not good. It's not good. When you're paying your offensive line that much and they're playing that bad. You better be good. And my thing is with this offensive line is they're all very good run blockers. They're all solid run blockers. Passing game is a little different. Ryan Kelly struggles in the passing game sometimes. Right guard, that's a shit show right now. Right guard is a shit show. It was last year. I'm excited for Emil Ekiyor Jr. I think that's how you say his name. He's a right guard from Bama. We signed a lot of people excited about him. I'm excited about him. He's been undersized, but he's got some upside for being a non-drafted guy. That's a very good undrafted free agent signing. Could definitely compete for that right guard spot right away just because of how bad it is, how shitty it is. It's part of my language, but right tackle, Braden Smith, he was on and off last year. He wasn't great. I think he was injured most of the year, so. But point is, this offensive line did not play up to how much they're being paid, and that's a big issue. But this year, it's going to change. Because when you have a quarterback that can run around like Anthony Richardson, your offensive line is going to be better already because the defensive line has to see discipline. They can't, the edge rushers can't just rush the lane. They can't just push. They can't just go wide. They have to make sure they have to keep that quarterback hemmed in because you give Anthony Richardson room, he's going to make some big plays on the ground, and that's a huge dynamic. That's a big dynamic for this Colts offense, which we haven't had. We just haven't had an athlete like Anthony Richardson. We just haven't. So it's exciting to have like the new era of quarterbacks, the new evolution of quarterbacks in the building, and a guy that has a chance to be incredible or crap, right? Let me make sure that these chats are coming up. Okay, I just want to make sure if you guys did, because sometimes it freezes. But back to that point with the offensive line, when you have a quarterback that can run, that's fast, go crazy, that helps the offensive line stay disciplined. That helps the defensive line. They have to stay disciplined. Unless they know you're gonna pass it, that's when any offensive line could struggle in the NFL. You have big, strong guys. We move from college to NFL. Everyone's big and strong. Everyone's worked their butt off to get there. College, yeah, everyone's worked their butt off to get there. You know what? They're different athletes there in college. That's how I'll word it. NFL, they're all different athletes, but they're all strong. They're all big. They're all pretty damn talented. They're there for a reason. So you have to be on your A game. And it's difficult to pass when the defense knows you're going to pass the ball. That's when offensive lines struggle. Any offensive line can struggle under that circumstance. Even if it's the Eagles, yeah, they're gonna play. The Eagles' offensive line is still gonna play pretty dang good. And they're probably not gonna be in that many situations, but it's gonna make it easier on the defense line and harder on the offensive line. Just keep it at that. Anthony Richardson's gonna help that so much, and he's gonna help open up some lanes for Jonathan Taylor because last year, you had Matt Ryan at quarterback. Who the hell cares? He's not gonna run far. Although he did have one run, which I think was like a 47-yard run. Yeah, Matt Ryan. But at the end of the day, he's not one of those quarterbacks that you're going to be scared of running. He just doesn't do it. Once in a blue moon, maybe he'll run for 10 yards, 15. 47 yards, it's just once in a career for a quarterback like that, let's be honest. It's just an outlier. But now you have a quarterback that's going to scare defenses. We saw what Carson Wentz isn't, that fast. He's not that mobile. He can move. He's got nice speed. But it's not incredible speed. It's not wow speed. And yeah, he was more refined as a passer. It's not really saying much, is it? Ugh, he's more refined as a passer because, Richardson's still raw. He's got a lot of work to do. But Wentz, I'm more so talking, and Anthony Richardson being much better in the mind. I think Anthony Richardson could and is already much better in the mind. He's a much better leader already. And that's another thing. Having a great leader at the most important position. Knowing he's going to be there for a couple of years. That's another big time thing. But having Anthony Richardson impacts a guy like Anthony Richardson, like Carson Wentz can move. You could have an option. He can move a little bit. Having a guy like that opens up more running lanes for the running back. It's going to open up big lanes for Taylor, depending on how the offensive line is going to want to play. Yeah. Ryan Kelly, as I said, he struggles in pass protection sometimes. He's a pretty damn good run blocker. He can be a mauler in the run game. He can be. Absolutely can be. And then Quentin Nelson, we know he's a mauler in the run game. We know he's great in both. He's elite in both. We know that. Bernard Ryman still got work to do. I think towards the end of the season, he really came on and he really turned the heat up. So, but, okay, versus the Jaguars. Not really talking about the schedule. We're kind of, freaking talking about the team more. But week one, we already started talking about. I'm struggling to talk now. Jacksonville, right? Close don't mix well with Jacksonville, and week one. But it's beginning of a new era. Shane Steichen and Anthony Richardson. My prediction is they lose. I know it's at home, and I would love for them to prove me wrong here. If I want the Colts to win any games this season, say they only win one game, this is the game I want. I know it's gonna put a sour sour taste in your mouth going into the offseason. And if you only win one game, there might. Anthony Richardson, he just might not be the guy. But you need to give him time as well. If you just win one game, they're obviously, now you have a lot more problems than just quarterback. Okay? But if you win week one for the first time in, 10 years almost, and you beat Jacksonville, I feel like that's going to make for a strong start to this next year. And if they do win the first game, they could start 2-0. They could. They very well could. But I don't think they beat Jacksonville. I don't think they do. Yeah, like I said, I'm not completely sold on the generational part of Trevor Lawrence. I'm sold that he can be a pretty good quarterback once in a while. We haven't seen it consistently. But I'm convinced that he's a solid quarterback. So I think Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, the Jaguars offensive line, all those weapons are going to be too much for this young Colts secondary. You got Calvin Ridley coming back. Christian Kirk had a pretty damn good year last year. You have Evan Ingram. You have some really nice pieces on the offensive line. And I think this Colts defense could struggle in general, whether it's versus the pass or the run. Now, I really like this Colts defensive line. I think this Colts defensive line is going to be pretty good, honestly. We have Simpson Abukum, can be a phenomenal rotation guy. He's going to play on the other side of Kwity Paye really took a step up in his pass protection last year, or his pass rushing ability. Run game, he's very phenomenal in. He's very phenomenal as a run stopper. You're going to have to force Buckner. You're going to have Grover Stewart. You're going to have Dale Adangbo. You're going to have Adi Warbrier, the guy from Northwestern. I can't say his name. I'm not going to try. I know I just did try, but I'm not going to keep butchering it. But we have depth there. We have Taven Bryan. I like Taven Bryan, too. That was a nice signing. That was an under-the-radar signing. But in general, this defense line is going to be good. Then you have Shaquille Leonard, DJ Speed, Zaire Franklin. I like the linebacker group. That's all you need. You don't need crazy linebackers. It's, you want guys that can cover in the passing game. Yeah, you want guys who are going to be able to at least hold their own. Maybe fill, clogs from running lanes. But our linebacker room is fine. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Safety room, they're really going to have to be on guard. Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk. But I think we lose to Jacksonville week 1. We're going to start 0-1. It's my prediction. Although I said if we do win this game, it'll be exciting. It would be a very good sign. Week 2, Houston Texans. 2 divisional games in a row. You're going to Anthony Richardson versus C.J. Stroud. Anthony Richardson was considered high risk, high reward. C.J. Stroud was considered safe, so it's like risk versus safe. Division rival versus division rival, right? That's where a lot of it sold. Honestly, I really hope y'all sweep the Jags, although I think it's unlikely. It would be awesome. You know how I feel about the Jags. Yeah, trust me. You and all of Colts Nation, me, we don't like the Jags. Nah. I mean, I respect them. I respect every single football team. It's just not... Jaguars just aren't our cup of tea. Everyone knows that. Especially Carson Wentz's cup of tea. Nah. When Carson Wentz sees the Jaguars, he's like, oh, shit. But Houston, Anthony Richardson versus C.J. Stroud. Number 2 overall versus number 4. C.J. Stroud is considered the more ready guy. He's accurate. I think he has question marks about being a leader, throwing the ball under pressure, and the team you're playing for doesn't have a great offensive line. Let's be honest. Not a good offensive line. I really hope you'll sweep the Jags. You know how I feel about Trevor Lawrence. Yeah. Where was I at? C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson. Stroud, with not having a great offensive line. Colts have a good defensive line. Texans have a pretty bad run defense. It's a good matchup for the Colts here. Very good matchup for the Colts. And I see this being the first win of the Colts season. I think the Colts could sweep Houston. I think it's in the realm of possibilities. Whether Anthony Richardson has a great game throwing or not, the ground game is going to be so dynamic, barring any injuries, hoping the offensive line stays healthy, hoping the offensive line comes back from last year. I think that this is a win. I think that this Houston Texans team is very beatable for the Colts. Very good matchup. You have decent corners. They don't have great receivers. They did just draft a receiver. He's a pretty good one, too. He's a pretty underrated guy, in my opinion. I don't remember who it was, but... sorry. My allergies are driving me crazy in my eyes. Alright, apologize. Surprised we didn't sneeze yet. But Houston Texans, week 2. I think the Colts are going to take this one home. I think the offensive line is going to be good enough. Texans corners, they have some pretty good corners now. They do have Will Anderson on the edge. We're going to see how our tackles fare against him. I think they'll be fine. Will Anderson's going to be is a solid prospect. Is he going to really... Didn't mean the Jags meant Trevor. I have no problem with Jags. Just can't stand Trevor Lawrence. Okay. I like Trevor Lawrence as a person. Maybe as a football player. He's hyped up a bit. He hasn't really shown that generational part of him yet. You know what I mean? I say it's okay. He's average right now. But, so sorry. My eyes are so itchy, so it's screwing me up. Alright, I gotta ignore it. Discipline, Jay. Discipline. Screw the eyes. Don't matter, but... We beat Houston. We gotta beat Houston. I don't see any reason why we can't. Maybe this team is still getting their crap together. A lot of new players on the team. So it's gonna take time. It's gonna take Anthony Richardson to learn the system, learn a playbook. It takes players quite some time to learn a new playbook. Now I think it's gonna be a little different with Aaron Rodgers. I know I just completely went off topic, but Jets and Aaron Rodgers, they're winning the AFC East. You heard it here. They are winning the AFC East. I feel you with the allergies. Mine are killing me too. Ugh. It sucks. All that tree pollen, all the trees blowing. Sucks. Then we got Baltimore in week 3. So we got... Let's see what we got here written down. We have the Cam Jackson, Anthony Richardson, who he compared himself a little while ago when he came to the NFL. He's like, nah, now I'm Anthony Richardson. Now I'm this guy, and I'm going to be my own. I love that. But now, the guy that you're playing is the guy that you kind of hope you become. The kind of quarterback that we hope Anthony Richardson becomes. The Ravens have a pretty damn good football team. Good defensive line, nice linebackers, good corners. They got Marcus Peters. No, Marcus Peters isn't there anymore, I don't think. No, I think he went somewhere else. You have Marlon Humphrey. You guys know. Rock Ya-Sin signed with the Baltimore Ravens. Rock Ya-Sin makes his money someplace. if he turns out to be a great corner, this is a place he does it in Baltimore. Baltimore, they have a knack for DBs. And he had a pretty good year with Vegas last year. We straight up traded Unique Ngakoue for Rock. And Rock played good in Las Vegas. I think that was a good spot for him. It seemed like a good scheme fit. Same thing with the Ravens. I think Rocky Sin going to have a breakout year. Watch out for Rocky Sin and the Ravens. But I think this offensive line may struggle a little bit. But we're kind of going to give the Ravens a taste of their own medicine with the Russian quarterback. Whenever you play the Ravens, you stress out every single play. I don't know if it's just me, but when you're playing the Ravens, especially Lamar Jackson, you stress the frick out. Every single play is so stressful. And I'm sitting on the couch watching the game. Imagine how the players have to be. Is Lamar going to torch us downfield, or is he going to take it and run 40 yards? Lamar Jackson is so scary to play. He really is. And I'm happy he got the contract he did. I'm happy he's staying in Baltimore. Baltimore is going to be a force to be reckoned with this year. They're going to be very good. They have some good receivers. They signed OBJ. You ask me, OBJ is incredible. He's still incredible. He's going to be incredible. I might take some flack for this. Okay. Fully healthy. I think OBJ can be a top 10 receiver. That's my hot take. That's my hot take for this next season. OBJ gonna be a top 10 receiver next year. As long as he's healthy, he's gonna have playing time. There's not as much volume. Book it. OBJ, top 10 receiver next year. In terms of stats, he's having a productive year in general. He has the ability to be so. Love OBJ. It's a great spot for him. I love that Lamar Jackson got such a dynamic weapon. Now, yeah, OBJ's had some injuries, but we're going to see how he comes back. If OBJ comes back good from the ACL tear, all that, watch out. Watch out. OBJ is going to surprise you guys more than you think. He's going to be better than you think. And I think the Colts secondary is going to struggle with OBJ. I think they're going to struggle with Rashad Bateman. I think they're going to struggle with Mark Andrews, which the Colts have always been horrible against tight ends. I think Lamar Jackson's going to eat us up. J.K. Dobbins. Then I think that defense is going to give Anthony Richardson some issues, especially throwing the ball. I think Baltimore is going to take this game away at 3. That's all I really got. I think the Ravens are just flat out much better football team than the Colts. So right now I have the Colts at 1-3. Number 4, week 4, we have the Los Angeles Rams. This is a game I'm a little excited to talk about because I think this game is winnable. Depending on a few factors. Rams' run defense wasn't very good last year. It was like 26th, I believe. Let's see. I thought I had it written down. 25th run defense last year that Rams had, right? Anthony Richardson, Jonathan Taylor could get going. That defense lineup, other than Aaron Donald, it's not that scary, honestly. Other than Aaron Donald, which Quentin Nelson and Aaron Donald, that's going to be a fun matchup, man. That's going to be fun. Other than that, I don't think the Colts are going to have too much of an issue around the ball. I think they're going to be able to run it all over the Rams defense. Their linebackers aren't great. Their cornerbacks, losing Jalen Ramsey, hurts big time. I don't know who else they have at cornerback. Who do they have? Let's see. Oh, damn. Rams depth chart, ESPN. I'm really intrigued to see who they have at cornerback now. I never really thought of it and never kept up with them. You have Robert Rochelle. Kobe Durant. Okay, I think he could be solid. Travius Hodges-Tomlinson. I think he could be a good slot cornerback. I think he just came out this year or last year, but either way, I think he's gonna be a good cornerback for them. Slot cornerback Michael. I can't say the name, but then you have their cornerbacks aren't very good. Their linebackers aren't really there. I'm not really big on any of their linebackers. Safeties, you have Jordan Fuller and Russ Yeast. And as we already know, their offensive line is pretty weak. I think this is a win for the Colts. I think the defense can do enough. Now, Matthew Stafford isn't going to have much protection, right? And on top of that, if Matthew Stafford comes back from the injury, he's playing like he did in the Super Bowl year, even without even without that offensive line that he had the Super Bowl year. If Matthew Stafford shows up, I think the Rams beat us. But I think that the Colts could beat the Rams. I think they'll beat the Rams in Week 4. Anthony Richardson, I think this is a game Anthony Richardson has a pretty good game in. You know, they don't have a great defense line other than Aaron Donald. Cornerbacks are beatable. Pittman, Pierce. This could be a game where Anthony Richardson and Josh Downs goes to town. You know what I'm saying? I think this could be a breakout game for both of them, and it'd be nice to see it in LA. Wait, no, it's actually at home. It's at home, so it'd be our first home win. It'd be the first home win of the Anthony Richardson and Shane Steichen era. So right now I have the Colts at 2-2. This is where things get ugly, though. I have the Colts at 2-2. You know, the schedule was kind of similar to last season. You played 3 AFC teams right away. Played the Jaguars and the Texans. I think it was I don't remember who the first 2 games were. I think it was the Jaguars and Texans. I'm just blanking. I think the Jaguars were week 2. And I think the Texans were week 1. So it's just kind of flip-flopped. Colts last 2. You're starting with 2 divisional games. And you have, you're basically starting with 3 AFC games. Then you got the Rams, which is your first NFC matchup. But within the first 6 weeks, you played 4 divisional games. And then your next one isn't until, you got Cleveland 7, New Orleans 8, Carolina 9, New England 10. You have the bye week. You have Tampa Bay. Your next division game isn't until week 13 versus the Titans at Tennessee. So, interesting how they set up the schedule like they did last year with the Colts divisional games. But Titans in week 5. Is it going to be Anthony Richardson versus Will Levis? Or is it going to be Anthony Richardson versus Ryan Tannehill? I think it's going to be Anthony Richardson versus Ryan Tannehill. I don't see Will Levis starting. I don't see him winning the job. He's going to have to work for it. And Levis still has a few things that he has to, get better at, learn, work his butt off. I just think that Ryan Tannehill is their guy for week 1. I don't think there's much debate. I don't really think they have it up for competition. I think it's going to be Ryan Tannehill week 1. I don't see Will Levis starting week 1 unless Ryan Tannehill gets hurt. That's my take there. So Ryan Tannehill, will he be playing by week 5? Will he be hurt? I think so. I think Ryan Tannehill will be playing at week 5. Of course, you'll have Derrick Henry. You'll have the improved Titans offense line with Peter Skoronski. Immediate improvement. Their offense line was pretty rough last year. But Peter Skoronski, very good player. I think he's going to be a great player for the Titans. Although I think the Colts' defense line is going to be able to get to Tannehill. I think they're going to be able to get to Henry. The receivers, let's see what the Titans' receivers are. I'm interested. I'm very interested to see the Titans depth chart. Freaking allergies, yo. Let's see. See if the Titans depth chart is looking nice. So the Titans depth chart, right? Wide receiver wise, you have Treylon Burks, Nick Westbrook, Chris Moore. Yikes. Other than Treylon Burks, there's not really too much there. So, I guess we'll see who cover him. I think that's going to be a fun matchup between Julius Brents and Treylon Burks. I think that's going to be a good test for Julius Brents. I think it's going to be a fun matchup. That's really it. I don't see anyone else there that really scares you. Even Treylon Burks doesn't scare me yet. He's still got something to learn. He's kind of like a light A.J. Brown still. Although, the Titans' defensive line, you have Jeffrey Simmons, Curtis. Oh, they got Curtis Brooks! Dang it! Smart. Curtis Brooks is good. He's good. You have Danico Autry. He always plays well against the Colts. Harold Landry. I don't know if I already mentioned him, but And they have some all right corners. They have Roger McCreary. They have Christian Fulton, Caleb Farley. They have some solid corners. And they have solid safeties in Kevin Byard and Amani Hooker. So their secondary is very good. It's going to be the first serious test, secondary-wise, for Anthony Richardson, I think. But it's an important one. These are the type of games that he's going to need. He's going to need to play these strong defensive back rooms. He's going to have to play these strong defenses to get better. That's just that's the best way to learn. I don't want to see Anthony Richardson holding a clipboard on the sideline for half the season. No. You draft him at 4, and he just needs to play. He has played so little, he just needs to play. I don't care. You don't sit him. He needs to play. He needs a valuable experience, and getting that, very important, especially versus the Titans defense is pretty solid. They have some good playmakers on that defense. And I think that's enough to beat the Colts. You have a good defense, you might not need to have a great offense. The Colts defense is okay. There are some really nice spots there, but cornerback is a question. And the Titans don't have great receivers. So this could be a pretty even matchup in my opinion. Other than the Titans defense being pretty damn good, I think this could be a pretty good matchup both times. At home, I am taking the Indianapolis Colts to lose. I kind of hyped it up like I was going to have them win and beat Tennessee at home, but I just think, you have a veteran quarterback, Ryan Tannehill. He doesn't really have weapons, but he has Derrick Henry. He has an improving offensive line, a solid defense. I'm going to count on the more experienced quarterback to make the game-winning play over Anthony Richardson. Even though Anthony Richardson can maybe make the game-winning play on the ground, eventually, the game has to be won from the pocket. Has to be won by throwing the football at some point. Unless your opponent literally can't stop it. But that's rare. If you're going to line up and run it every single play, more often than not, you're going to get stopped. More often than not, the other team is going to figure it out, and you're not going to do it all game long. You're not going to be able to do it play after play. So, I'm going to have Tennessee Titans taking the win here, coming to Lucas Oil, just not really knocking the socks off in terms of killing them, but just beating the Colts. I don't see the Colts really. I mean, well, like I said, it's an even matchup. I'm just taking the more experienced guy. I'm taking the more experienced coach as well. I'm taking the Tennessee Titans to beat the Colts. They're coming in to beat the Colts in their own home. Colts haven't beaten the Titans in forever, but I still don't think they're going to in Week 5. Week 6. Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. We're just gonna mark it down as a loss. We're gonna keep moving. I mean, I'm not giving them win in Week 1 or in Jacksonville until they prove otherwise. Unless, say next year we get a team that's not supposed to be good at all. They just don't have a good roster. They just don't have a good team. Okay, maybe I picked them to win. And if Anthony Richardson, shows good this year, he shows good flashes. We have another good offseason. But so much could change in a year. So much. So we just kind of got to stick with where we are now. We got to focus on now. And I don't see us beating Jacksonville in Jacksonville. We didn't do it when we were playing really well last year. We didn't do it. We haven't done it in a long time. And it's not going to change this year. Don't see it changing. So I'm having the Colts start. 2-4, beating Jacksonville. No, losing to Jacksonville twice, losing to Tennessee, losing to Baltimore. So yeah, that's like 2-4. 1, 2, and then you got 4 losses. Week 7, you have the Cleveland Browns and Deshaun Watson. I think Deshaun Watson and this Cleveland Browns team is going to be rolling. Now the AFC is really good. The AFC North is pretty damn talented. I think the Steelers are going to have a big year. The Bengals are going to be good with Joe Burrow. The Ravens are going to be pretty damn good. And I think the Browns are going to be pretty good. Both of these teams, all 4 of these teams, this could be one of the best divisions in football. It may be a hot take, but I think it's an incredible division from top down. Quarterback play, if Kenny Pickett can really take that next step, whoo. You have to, and if Deshaun could come back strong, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, all top 10. When playing at their best football. 2 of them top 5, arguably. Kenny Pickett just not there yet. Although I think Kenny Pickett could be a good quarterback. It's funny how the tables have kind of turned. Pittsburgh has always had Big Ben. And who have the other guys had? Baltimore had Joe Flacco. Cincinnati had Andy Dalton. Was he really anything special? No. The Cleveland Browns had Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield, 38 million other quarterbacks. But, oh no. This Cleveland Browns team is too talented. They have a very good defensive line. Myles Garrett. They just signed someone as well. A very good defensive lineman. An edge rusher. Cleveland Browns depth chart. Let's see. Who do they have on the other side? Myles Garrett. Dalvin Tomlinson on the inside. He's a stuffer. Jordan Elliott. Zadarius Smith. They traded for Zadarius Smith. That's a nasty duo if you ask me. Nasty duo. And Bernard Ryman, will he be able to hold his own against a Zadarius Smith? I think so. Will Bernard Ryman be able to hold his own versus Myles Garrett or Zadarius Smith? Probably not. Probably going to struggle. He's going to need some help with tight end chips. Braden Smith has a better chance. In the past, Braden Smith has locked up incredible pass rushers. I think it was the Carson Wentz season. Or the Philip Rivers season. Braden Smith, my God, was he incredible. My God. But now he's been injured a few years. Hasn't really played as much. When he has played, he's been mediocre, average, hasn't been great. You have your questions, and you wonder how he's going to do this year. If he's going to be able to really keep it at that, $18 million a year level? Big question. You better be able to. Otherwise, it's going to look very bad on Chris Ballard. Very bad. So right there, Anthony Richards probably going to struggle with that defensive line. Zadarius Smith and Myles Garrett, 2 incredible edge rushers. Gonna be able to keep them hemmed in, disciplined, talented. Defensive line, you have Dalvin Tomlinson, huge player, but he's a very good run guy, very good run stopper. They have good DBs. Let's see, they got Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, Juan Thornhill, Grant Delpit, Rodney McLeod Jr., Martin Emerson Jr., which I like Emerson. Linebackers, JOK, Anthony Walker, former Indianapolis Colts. Offense, pretty scary. Offense is pretty scary. If Deshaun Watson comes back and he plays like he did in Houston, he gets back to his form, this is going to be a scary offense to watch. Very fun offense to watch. You're going to have, of course, Deshaun Watson. Nick Chubb, very good running back. He's probably the best pure runner in the league. I don't think anyone's a better pure runner in the league than Nick Chubb. Power, speed. He's an incredible running back. He doesn't get enough credit. We talk about Jonathan Taylor, not this past year. He had a bad year. We talk about Derrick Henry. I mean, still not really this past year, but Josh Jacobs had a good year last year. Talk about some of the more recent guys, but I think Nick Chubb needs to be kept there. I think Nick Chubb is number 1 right now. Nick Chubb is number 1 for me. Derrick Henry, whatever, last year he kind of got hurt. Jonathan Taylor isn't hurt. He had one great year. Want to see Jonathan Taylor put it together for another couple of seasons. You can't. Yeah, that season Jonathan Taylor was the best running back where he had that year. Right now he is not there. Right now we know that's his ceiling. But you can't say he's there without seeing it again. He's injury prone. Offensive line sucked. we know what he's capable of. We know he's very good. But as of right now, you have to go, the guys that are healthy, guys have... Nick Chubb has been incredible for 4 or 5 years now? 3, 4, 5 years? He's done it for 3, 4, 5 years. Name another running back that has done this. Derrick Henry had a few just incredible seasons, so maybe there. But Nick Chubb, he doesn't run as nearly as much as those guys. Yet, his yards per carry is insane. Let's look at his rush yards per attempt. Nick Chubb stats. Right. Let's see. 5.5 yards per carry. So, yeah, he's had a lot less attempts than a guy like Jonathan Taylor or Derrick Henry. But he's been incredible. He's been way more efficient. Way more efficient, in my opinion. So, point is, don't sleep on Nick Chubb. Give him the credit he deserves. You have Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore. I love Elijah Moore. Donovan Peoples-Jones, David Bell, Marquise Goodwin, Cedric Tillman, Anthony Schwartz, Jakeem Grant. It's such a deep receiver room. Such a deep receiver room. David Njoku, Jordan Atkins is a solid too. Like David Njoku, Jedrick Wills Jr., Joel Bitonio, Wyatt Teller at right guard, Jack Conklin at right tackle. It's an impressive offense. It's going to be a very good offense next year. Very good offense. As long as Deshaun Watson could return to his form, that offense is going to be very difficult to stop, if it's stoppable. Honestly, if the defense plays pretty good and the offense shows out, if this team plays like it looks on paper, I can see them going to the Super Bowl. Honestly. A lot of people aren't talking about the Browns as one of those teams. They are one of those teams on paper. We'll see when we see the field. We'll see when they get in the field. Because that's always a different story. That's always different when you hit the field versus looking at it on paper. But I'm telling you, man, Browns, don't sleep on them. And that being said, with the Browns being one of the teams, being able to run the damn ball, having pretty good defense, Deshaun Watson, I'm taking the Cleveland Browns to beat the Indianapolis Colts in Week 7. So right now we're at 2-5. Week 8, New Orleans Saints. They have pretty good. They have a pretty good football team. The run defense, not great. Any team with a poor run defense and a mediocre offense, the Colts have a chance to beat. Doesn't mean they're going to. I'm not saying they can't beat the teams with better run defenses. It's just a much more favorable matchup if a team doesn't have a great run defense. According to last year, it's probably going to be different this year with a lot of teams. It always is different every year. But Saints defensive line, solid. Brian Breesy. They have Isaiah Foskey. They have a nice defensive line, in my opinion. I like their defensive line. Cameron Jordan, think Father Time's starting to catch up with him. They're a solid football team. I think they're all right. I thought Jameis Winston was good. I thought they should have maybe stuck with him a little longer. But even Andy Dalton was really good last year. Andy Dalton was solid. Derek Carr, is he really an upgrade over Andy Dalton? Yeah, but a huge upgrade? No. Is Derek Carr a guy the Colts can maybe get a few turnovers on, maybe steal a few possessions, suffocate the Saints in possession time? Yeah. But I don't think Derek Carr throws a few turnovers. Derek Carr doesn't really throw a lot of interceptions. And that's where this cover 3 can maybe thrive here, with him being conservative from underneath, which sometimes that's kind of beats cover 3. But I think the Saints team is going to beat the Colts this year. I don't think the Colts are going to beat... last time the Saints beat the Colts, you had a nasty taste in your mouth. It was a nasty Monday night game. And Yeah, Jacoby Brissett, Drew Brees, and the Saints were just having an incredible year. It just wasn't a good game. Drew Brees broke Peyton Manning's passing yard record. He surpassed that. A lot of bad things from that game. No, it's not going to be that bad this year. It's not going to be nothing like that this year. Yeah, they have Alvin Kamara as a decent back. I think the Colts could contain him. There's some pretty good receivers. Chris Olave, Thomas, if Thomas is healthy. That's a big question with Michael Thomas, is if he gets healthy. But they have a good defensive line. They have some solid pieces too. Marshawn Lattimore. They have some good pieces on the defense. But I think the Saints are just a better football team. And I think the Saints are going to beat the Colts. Now, I could see the Colts beating the Saints, because the matchup is decent with the run defense. But with them adding Brian Breesy, Breesy's kind of a high upside, high risk, high reward guy in my opinion. I think he went right around where he should have been. Should have been drafted. Isaiah Foskey going to be a fun edge rusher. I think he's going to be solid. I say the Colts lose this one to the Saints. Let me move on to Week 9. Another NFC South team. NFC South, yes. Carolina Panthers. 4:05. One of the very few games that aren't a 1 o'clock game. At Carolina. Frank Reich versus the Colts. Frank Reich finally has his guy. I'm excited for Frank Reich. And I'm happy for Frank Reich to finally get a chance to have his guy. Nick Groom, his own quarterback. Yeah, he stuck his neck out for Carson Wentz. Took ownership, yeah, but I think getting your guy that you want. I'm not usually the type of person that likes. I don't think a head coach. I don't think it's a great idea to give a lot of head coaches to give head coaches a second chance. It just doesn't work. Frank Reich, I think it's a bit different. I know he said he doesn't really keep the players accountable, all that and this, and that probably will catch up with him in Carolina. Probably will. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He's getting a chance to build it from the ground up. He's not dealing with the generational, his franchise guy leaving 2 weeks before the season started, retiring. He's getting his guy, gets to build around him how he wants. I'm giving Frank Reich a chance. I'm not saying he's going to be horrible. He might be. And, that doesn't, with the team not being able to do little things right all the time, that doesn't, him not having a quarterback every year doesn't explain that. But maybe it's a voice thing. Maybe it's a tone thing. When you have the guy, it's different. He doesn't have to change the offense every single year. He doesn't have to cater the offense to this quarterback's play style. This quarterback that stands still in the pocket. This quarterback likes to throw up this. He's better at this. He's worse at this. When you have the guy, you get to build around him. He can learn the playbook. You get a chance, a legit chance with the guy. And he never had that in Indianapolis. The 1 year Andrew Luck was with him, Andrew Luck had his best year. Best year. Coming off the shoulder. Frank Reich did what needed to be done. He catered the offense toward the defense they were playing. And that's what his problem was towards the last 2-3 seasons, really. He just always attacked the other team's strengths. He always did what he think the Colts should have done, rather than what the Colts should have actually done. Should have called here, should have called there. Now, I'm sitting here talking on a podcast, right? I haven't coached. I've never coached. I've been a part of a football environment. I haven't coached. But at the end of the day, what we see is what we see. I'm absolutely going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I think he could be a good coach in Carolina. Now, will his type of coaching catch up to him? It absolutely could, just like it did with the Colts. It's different when you have your guy, though. Your attitude changes. You get excited. You get to improve things One thing, maybe the offense seemed so simplistic at times because, well, this NFL is going to be complicated, but it was so basic and vanilla at times because Frank Reich couldn't implement any more complicated stuff. He couldn't really add in these really advanced concepts that the quarterbacks aren't familiar with, that they have never used before. Maybe different to them, different terminology. When you only play 1 year, you don't really have a chance to really install what you want. You have to realize that it takes a player's time to learn. What up, Marsh? What up, man? What up? Been a minute. I haven't been streaming much. About time I'm streaming. I don't think I streamed since the last game of the season. That's pretty sad. Pretty bad. Or, the last game I streamed. And I think the last two I didn't stream. I don't know what. Point being is, I didn't... Where's my wrench? I remember 100 subs. Oh! Alright, yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I don't know what happened to it. Let's see. As moderator. Can manage... Oh, there's two different kind of moderators now. Manage moderator can manage block words and change chat modes and not. But also, I'm just going to keep it as standard moderator. You all are standard moderators. Nothing. I'm not trying to say it like that. I'm just saying, I kind of want to be in control of some other stuff. But I don't trust you guys. It's just, right now, this is where I'm at. In the future, Marsh, can absolutely be. You, Gold, stick around all the time. Absolutely could be. And I'll ask you guys. All right. Get the point. We get the point, JDW. But I think this is a 50-50 game. Both teams aren't very good. Colts have a lot of work to do. Carolina has a lot of work to do. Both have first-year head coaches, although Frank Reich has been a head coach before. You the man, keep it going. Hey, I appreciate you stopping by, though. That's what I appreciate. I appreciate it, man. Fans like you, as I say, every single time, without you, without the fans, this is nothing. It's not fun. And that's why I appreciate y'all so much. Every single one. I apologize. My allergies are killing me. My throat is killing me. My eyes are killing me. But you just got to push through it. So, Frank Reich, gonna be, the Colts can be pumped up. Maybe the Colts players are going to have a little bit of we need to go beat this guy. This guy broke our team. Character-wise, not being able to lead. Let's go show him what happens when we are led the right way. And this game, as I've already mentioned, this game could go either way, in my opinion. I don't think any side is going to be really favored that much. There's going to, it's going to be a mixed game. Some people are going to pick the Panthers. Some are going to pick the Colts. Now, the Panthers do have a good team, though. They have a decent secondary. They have a decent defensive line. You have Brian Burns, one of the better edge rushers in the league. Very underrated. In an offense, let's look at their depth chart. I have to get better with some of these teams. What their depth charts are like. It's so difficult to remember every single one. Top of your head. Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young, of course. Miles Sanders, good running back. Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, Terrace Marshall, Jonathan Mingo. He's an interesting type of receiver. I'm excited to see how he turns out. Demir Bird, Preston Williams, Laviska Shenault. They have some good weapons. They have some nice wide receivers. Hayden, and at tight end, you have Hayden Hurst, Ian Thomas, Tommy Tremble. Those first three tight ends, those are good tight ends. Left tackle, Icky, incredible left tackle. Bradley Bozeman at center. Austin Corbett at right guard. Taylor Moore. Their tackles are solid. They have pretty good tackles. Maybe the interior can be worked on a little bit, but it's not horrible. It's bad. It's solid. It's average. Let's see. Knew we would have to travel to Carolina and play Reich. It's so NFL scheduling to have them do that to us. No prime time, except for the Germany game. Come on. Week 15 and, with the Steelers in Houston, it's, they're about to be declared. Still, no Sunday night game. But I think Amazon probably had a good talk with NFL. We've seen this shitty horseshoe. I'm sorry, Colts. I'm sorry. But the primetime games that the Colts played Thursday night, when it was the Broncos one, it was like probably the worst rated one. Least watched. People left early, probably like, man, fuck this. Okay. I can't use that word. That's enough with the cursing. They're like, no. Get them off the primetime. You could put other teams on primetime more than once on Thursday night. Don't put the crappy teams on. You give us a crappy schedule, we ain't gonna like you. That's it. Marsh fan with the membership. I appreciate it, man. What's up? I don't know why I just said what's up, but I appreciate it, man. You're the first member. You're the first member. I think I have some emojis that are... Yeah, there's some there. There's some there. If you ever have any suggestions, like for emojis, anything like that, feel free to let me know. I'll try to make them. But, yeah, man, let's go. We got our first member. We'll take it. Appreciate it, homie. Day one. Big time. Thank you, man. Thank you. D-dab. Yeah. At least after our Germany game, at least we get a bye week. I think that's one of the nice things about the schedule. We're coming from Germany, coming from overseas, and we get a bye week. That's nice. We'll take that. Something. Because I think our last international game was versus the Jaguars in London. That was a couple of years ago. We lost versus the Jaguars, right? But yeah, I appreciate that, Marsh. Appreciate that, homie. I forgot what those perks are. I have to update those perks. I have to make them better. To make sure that you guys are members, that you really do get the experience you deserve. Even if you're not, don't feel like you need to. I really appreciate. I didn't mean to say it like, just because they do that. If you didn't, you don't deserve to be respected. It's just, I appreciate it. It's support. And you being here all the time, Marsh, all that, I appreciate it so freaking much. Membership, extra. And I appreciate it, man. I really do. The bottom of my heart. First member. I'll have to do something special for the first member, maybe. We'll see. I'll look into this stuff, but... where were we at now? Carolina, week 9. Week 9. You know what? I give us a win versus Carolina. Although they... Nah. I don't think we do. Never mind. I'm changing it. Let me see what I had in my notepad here. See what I had. We had the notepad. We had Jaguars week 6. Browns week 7. Saints L. I have the Panthers as an L. The Panthers, they have a night football team. It's nothing crazy, but I think Bryce Young is gonna have a good game. I think he's gonna have a better game than what Anthony Richardson would have. Throwing the ball, absolutely. I think this is an example where Anthony Richardson's inexperience gets to him. I know Bryce Young is just, he's just getting into it. But I think Bryce Young, I think that offense, I think the defense, Panthers defense is aight. I think it could throw any defense really with so little experience that Anthony Richardson. I don't want to say AR-15 because he doesn't want to be called that, but I'm taking Carolina. Actually, I'm going to take Carolina. I think good pass rush. Some alright linebackers. Nothing special, but I think it'd be enough. Week 10 at New England in Germany. Well, I just said at New England in Germany. JW. Come on, dude. Really? Alright, but sorry. Week 10, New England. New England has a solid team. They have a solid defense. Bill Belichick versus rookie quarterbacks doesn't end well. And with how little experience Anthony Richardson has, Bill Belichick and that defense is... If there's a game that Anthony Richardson is going to absolutely play horrible, just crap game, absolute crap game, Colts shut out, and they don't even get nothing. This is the game. This is the game that happens. Especially versus Bill Belichick and what they have over there. Credible coach. Knows what to do versus rookie quarterbacks. I'm not just saying that because of the coach. They have a good team. I'm not high on Mac Jones myself. I'm not a Mac Jones guy. I think he could get you there, but he can't win it. You know what I mean? Can't win it. JD, seek out Marcus of Culture Shock and bring the juice plus coleslaw. Lawrence Owen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't like to ask, though. You know, if they want to, they will. They don't. Oh, well. I'll never ask. I'll never ask for a membership. You know, I do ask for subscriptions, but it's free. It's free. Why not? Right? If you don't like it, unsubscribe. Oh, well. And like. If you don't like it, be honest with your like. If you like it, thumbs up. If not, thumbs down. Obvious. But I'll never ask for membership. And, you know, don't... You know, I want everyone to know, don't feel like you need one. To know that you know, for me to appreciate you. I appreciate every single one. So much. I really do. So, I just want y'all don't have to feel like you have to. Because you absolutely do not. Some Diet Patriots and free fresh. I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be a rough game for Anthony Richardson. Going across seasons, his first international game. Although maybe this is one of those games where you're like, shit, where'd that come from? Maybe he has his best game this game. NFL's weird. But from the past, from what we've seen, Patriots feast on young quarterbacks, especially rookies. Haven't seen much. Still in the game. Bill Belichick knows how to toy with their minds. And top of that, Patriots have the talent to get to your quarterback. They have decent receivers. Good running backs. Pretty damn good running backs, in my opinion. I think Ramondre Stevenson's great. The offensive line is pretty good. Tight ends are solid. Good coaching. Mac Jones is going to manage the game, and they're going to beat the Colts. The Colts are going to hop in that plane and be like, damn. The plane ride home is going to suck. Plane ride home is going to suck. Then we go into week 11. Bye week. Chill out. After the Germany game. Come home. Get the bye week. Get a days or two worth of rest. Get back to work. That's a very, very convenient time to have a bye week. Very convenient. Week 12. You're at home versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I want to see who they have. Who do you guys think is going to be the quarterback at that time for the Buccaneers? Who do they have number one on their depth chart? Is it Kyle Trask? Didn't they sign Baker Mayfield? Buccaneers depth chart. Let's see. I want to see. Baker Mayfield is listed as a starter, and then you have Kyle Trask and John Wolford. Yikes! Yikes! They have a good defense though. Kalijah Kancey was a good pick. Vita Vea is a stuffer up the middle, one of the best nose tackles. Right defensive end. You have Logan Hall, solid. Joe Tryon, good weak side linebacker. I mean, remember they run that 3-4, so it's a little different. Devin White, Levante David, Shaq Barrett, Jamal Dean, Ryan Neal, Antoine Winfield Jr., Carlton Davis. Yeah, that defense looks pretty nice talent wise. Offense, Baker Mayfield, ouch. Rashad White. I like Rashad White. I think he'd be a good running back. You have Chase Edmonds as his backup. Keyshawn Vaughn. Mike Evans. He's kind of, Mike Evans is good. Mike Evans is solid. Very good. Very good. Chris Godwin. Very good. Russell Gage. That's a nice number 3. Cade Alden is their tight end. Payne Durham. I think he's a good pick. I think that was an underrated player coming into the draft. Tristan Wirfs, the offensive line is, Cody Mauch, a right guard, Mock, Ryan Jensen. So the offensive line is okay. it's they have some good pieces there. But I think that defense, teams with good defenses, Anthony Richardson is probably going to really struggle against. And I know, Shane Steichen will put every player in the absolute best position to succeed. But at the end of the day, I think that Tampa Bay's defense is going to be a little too much for Anthony Richardson. Now, maybe Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask, who's ever starting at that point, maybe they're absolutely horrible. Pick here, pick there, fumble here, fumble there. Maybe that's how the Colts have a chance. But you got to convert on those turnovers. They got to convert. And if they get a few turnovers, they can win it. They can absolutely win it. It's a winnable game. It's a winnable game in general, considering how bad Baker Mayfield is and Kyle Trask. But there's good weapons around them, so there's no reason why they can't have a good game. Baker Mayfield has the talent. We know he does. So, it's his mechanics and him getting it right up here. Don't know if he does. Yes, it's Trask. Okay, let's see. I think Paris Colts messed up with Paris Campbell in New York with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has a nice deep ball, and they have a nice offensive line. I think Paris Campbell's going to thrive in New York. That was a big loss. But I think Josh Downs and Isaiah McKenzie are going to make up for it, honestly. He was hurt a lot. That's the thing that sucked. And we'll see if Downs and McKenzie, if either one get hurt, we still have one of those two, Let's see. Yes, it's Trask and Mayfield. May. Trask is who Anthony Richardson had to... Oh, okay. I didn't think about that. That's interesting, then. I didn't realize that. That's a cool storyline of Trask starts. Yeah. That's cool. I like that. It's a cool little storyline. I didn't know that. Nice fact. Nice little fact, homie. I don't know why I said homie. I don't normally talk like that. I'm not used to going live. I'm not used to talking this long. So I'm kind of like, I gotta get back into it. I gotta stay alive. I gotta keep going. I'm not saying we're gonna get off. No, I'm not. We still got quite a few games to go through here, but you could tell I haven't been live much because I don't show it when we talk, and I'm not very there. But oh well, we get better, right? We get better. Next game we have is our second to last divisional game. It's at Tennessee, playing the Tennessee Titans. Second time around, and being Tennessee, I'm going to say the Colts split with Tennessee. I think it's possible. I think, they're not going to necessarily say they're even. I think the Titans have a better quarterback right now, considering Anthony Richardson still has a lot of learning to do. But I think by now, having a few rough games there with the Patriots, getting the bye week, then having a rough game versus the Buccaneers, I think maybe Anthony Richardson, as well as getting his second look at a defense, could be to his advantage. Being like, oh, this worked last time, this didn't work. Try this. Don't do this again. I think that's going to be a very important learning curve and very important, just learning point for Anthony Richardson. And I think he's going to run well this game. The Colts offense line is going to play well this game. I think Josh Downs has another good game versus the Titans, unless I had that versus the... Yeah, I think I had it versus the Titans last week. Or no. Or the last game. That was the Rams, I said. But I think Anthony Richardson's going to go off this game. Week 13. I think he's going to go off. And I say the Colts are going to beat the Titans in Week 13. Week 14. Playing the Cincinnati Bengals. Depends on how this defense is playing, though. It depends on how Julius Brents... and how long it takes Julius Brents to really, get it down. Might take him a little while. The corner is difficult. Truck the Fightins. That's good. I like that. Yeah. I think that'd be a fun game. That one. And I think that one the Colts will come out on top. It's weird. The Colts and Titans, they win at each other's stadiums. It always seems, it seems that happens quite often when the Colts do beat the Titans. We'll say that first. But then you have the Bengals week 14. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. Was there a tight end? I know they picked up a good tight end. The offensive line, still a question. Maybe you could rock Joe Burrow a little bit, hit him hard a few times, but that's not going to affect him. He is great under pressure. Can't really blitz him at all. He will absolutely torch the defense, as any great quarterback does. If you blitz too much, your quarterback will absolutely torch the defense. Won't give you a chance. Maybe versus quarterbacks where, they're still learning the game, like Anthony Richardson. Richardson can maybe really struggle against the blitz early on. But Joe Burrow on the other side, Bengals defense is solid. They did lose Jesse Bates. That's a big loss. But I think they have Daxton Hill. I really like Daxton Hill. And they drafted another safety. Safety is replaceable. They're replaceable. Yeah, I'm going with the Bengals here. I don't think the Colts are going to beat the Bengals. Very good football team. They can run the ball. Although, it could maybe be a game where the Colts surprise. I might sound crazy, but the Bengals are one of those teams where, they'll take a weird loss here and there. They'll take a weird loss versus a team where you never thought they'd lose to. So maybe that's this game. But going off the rosters, the teams, and just who the Bengals are, Mississippi Mustache or AR-15 to start. I think you got to start I think you got to start Anthony Richardson. He's had only 13 starts in college, 12 in 2022. But I think that's all the more reason to put him in. He needs that experience. And I don't think being on the sideline with a clipboard is going to help him learn as much as it would as him just seeing the field. Honestly, he's a great leader. He has a great work ethic, great character, and when you have those things, I think it's okay to throw a quarterback into the fire. I think it's okay, but I think he has some good components to work with. The only time I'm not used to talking so much, my throat is so dry. But yeah, I don't really think the Colts are going to be able to beat the Bengals. I think Joe Burrow will tear apart that cover 3. Jamar Chase will probably give Julius Brents a good run for his money, or Isaiah Rodgers. You got T. Higgins, another incredible talent on the other side, and you have Tyler Boyd, Kenny Moore, and Tyler Boyd would be a fun matchup. They're going to be able to run the ball. Their offensive line is all right. It's not great. It's not bad. It's not horrible. But they'll work with it. They get the ball out quick. That's how good the receivers are. They get the ball out so quick, it might not even matter because they could all get open. They could all separate. Especially Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd used to be that guy for the Bengals before Chase and Higgins came along. Now he's kind of like the forgotten guy. Understandably, you have some incredible talents in there, and it's easy to overlook. Easy to overlook a guy like Tyler Boyd. He does everything really well. Everything really well. Very underappreciated at the moment. And it's just an incredible slot option. Incredible slot option that I think Kenny Moore will probably struggle against. Speaking of Kenny Moore, big year for Kenny. Big year for Kenny. He needs to prove that he, I don't think the Colts are going to pay him, regardless. He wants so much. And I don't think he's going to get it. I don't think he's going to get as much as he's looking for with the Colts. He's a really damn good slot corner. But I don't know if but last year, he wasn't. So I kind of just said that backwards. So he's been pretty damn good prior to last year. Last year he was wild. Even years before that, he's been inconsistent. But when he is good, he is good. When he is bad, he is shit. If you guys don't like me cursing a lot, let me know. I'll tone it down and I won't. But if you guys don't mind it, I'll curse a little bit because YouTube changed the terms where you could a little bit, and I feel like it really helps you get emotions out a little bit sometimes. Gator Chomp, let's go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got Anthony Richardson Chomp. Those legs, Anthony Richardson, gonna be very good. Gonna be very good. Obviously, very inexperienced, but it could be very good. It's just gonna take some time. Let's see. We got 7 people in here right now. All right. I see y'all. Thank you. If y'all are enjoying the stream, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, put the post notification bell on so you don't miss any future videos, lives, all the kind of stuff. You know, we have Hot Take Tuesdays every single Tuesday. We talk. You know, I ask you guys for your hot takes. I'm gonna start asking on YouTube as well in the community posts. It's a way to get you guys involved. But Week 15, to be declared, versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Fun fact: the Colts haven't beaten the Pittsburgh Steelers since since 2009. Yeah. You haven't beaten the Steelers since 2009. That's rough. The Steelers, just like the Patriots, just one of those teams that the Colts can't beat. Kind of like how they are in Jacksonville or how they are in Week 1. It's like versus the Steelers, it's been over 10 years, over a decade since we've beaten the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, we're at home, to be declared. I think we played them at home last year. I think we did. I think it was a home game. I don't remember, though, although I think it was at home. Steelers, right? I think they're going to be good this year. Honestly. There is so much good talent in the AFC. It's not even fun. There's so many good teams. You have the Chiefs. You have the Bengals. I'm just not thinking. You have the Bills. The Jets are going to be incredible with Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. I think the Jets are going to win that division. That's what I have going there. NFC East, I just said that. I think the Dolphins are going to be very good. Although the Dolphins have a few holes, like the offensive line. Having all of those weapons, having Devin Achane onto that, Cam Smith on the outside, adding Jalen Ramsey. I think that's going to be a very good football team. I think the Patriots are a solid football team. That division's very good. AFC South, that's kind of like the bleh division. You know, yeah, the Jaguars are probably the best team. But is that really saying much? Is that really saying that they're a damn good football team? Not really. Although they are talented. They are very talented. They have a lot of talent all over the place. But Trevor Lawrence is a question for me. You know, he just hasn't proved that he's this generational guy. And when you're coming out of college, being the number 1 overall pick and all that, you're expected to be pretty damn good. And he better show it this year. This is his year to show it. If he's generational or not. He's been wildly inconsistent. He has a few games where it's just like, holy shit. Where'd that come from? And then you'll say it because of the, for the opposite reason. Holy shit, what are you doing? Yeah. But as Colts fans, we all know he's had his great games against us. He just has. I just want to, I don't wish anything bad on a player. I want to see players succeed. I want to see these young players come in and just take the game over and make a good career for themselves. I love that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't seem like Trevor Lawrence has that it factor because he doesn't do it every week. Now, if he can find consistency, he's going to be very good. I think he's already good. If he can find some consistency, he's going to be very good. He's going to be great. That's my issue with him. So, and we got, we're still talking about the Steelers. Their offensive line is much, much improved. Broderick Jones is a high risk, high reward type of player like Anthony Richardson, in my opinion. Very high risk, very high reward. But offensive line's looking good. Najee Harris is incredible. Love Najee Harris. People forget about Najee Harris. Some people were saying the Steelers can maybe take a running back early. I'm like, nah, no way. Najee's very good. They always have a good running back room. Always. There's no need to go and spend another first-round pick on a back. Receivers. I like the receivers. They have some nice weapons there. I actually want to look up, see what the receivers are, see what some of what the Steelers have. Pittsburgh Steelers depth chart. Let's see. We got Kenny Pickett, starter, of course. Yeah, I don't know. Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, Allen Robinson. I like Miles Boykin as a nice, decent four. You have Calvin Austin. He is fast. Now, I think they need to let Kenny Pickett just let it rip, man. I don't think you can limit him, which I think that's what they were doing early on. I think you just have to let him just take it, man. You have to let him just do his thing. And I think he could be a very good quarterback for the Steelers. And every single year, even when Ben was really struggling bad, and it just seemed like the Steelers weren't going to be very good, they always find a way. Always find a way to have a good season. Every single year. And that's why, like, Mike Tomlin, my God, he's an incredible coach. Incredible. One of the best coaches there has to be. Honestly, he is so underrated. So, I'm not underrated, just underappreciated, in my opinion. Heading out, have a good night. Bye, Gold. I appreciate you stopping by. You're here for a really long time. I appreciate it, man. You enjoy your night. Enjoy your Saturday night. Enjoy your weekend. I'll catch you later. See you later, alligator. Why did I just say that? See you later, man. But yeah, Pittsburgh, they have a good defense. No, we didn't finish talking about their offense. Their offensive line, Broderick Jones, I think Broderick Jones is going to be very good. Dan Moore Jr. is a really solid depth option at left tackle. Isaac Samalu, that's a good signing. Mason Cole, Ryan McCollum, the backup for center. James Daniels, the right guard. I'm going to attempt to say the right tackle. Chukwama Okorafor. Okorafor. That's my best I can do. But I like the Steelers. They have a pretty good team. They have a good squad. They have a good offense. If Kenny Pickett could take that next step, watch out. Steelers are going to be solid. They're not going to be great. I don't think they're going to be great. I think they're going to be solid. Hopefully Allen Robinson gets that quarterback play he wants. Defense, they always make it work. Always make it work. Larry Ogunjobi, Keanu Benton, Cameron Ward, TJ Watt, Landon Roberts, Alex Highsmith, very good linebacker, Alex Highsmith. He's kind of like an edge rusher too. Patrick Peterson at cornerback. There's a place where Patrick Peterson just has that last resurgent year. This is it. And it's a great spot for him. Regardless. Levi Wallace, very good cornerback. Akilla Witherspoon, solid veteran. And you have Joey Porter Jr. That's some pretty damn good corners. That's a pretty damn good cornerback room. Minka Fitzpatrick, I think I said Minka. But Minka, incredible free safety. Chris Bowell is a kicker. There's not many holes in this team. It's just all around a good football team. And if you give Mike Tomlin an all-around good football team, it's scary. Because with the below-average football team, Mike Tomlin makes below average look above average. So imagine what he's going to do it above average. I'm excited. I'm excited for the Pittsburgh Steelers. When I first got into football, first like the Colts, I'm like, ugh, I don't like the Steelers. They always beat us. They always kill us. But as I got into the game more, and I have more respect and just love the game, really, I'm not saying I love the Steelers, love them, but I really like, how consistent the franchise is. They always find a way to have a winning season, not be below 500. They always find a way to just be that sneaky good team. Whether they make the playoffs or not, they're always a good football team, no matter what. Always. So I'm marking that one down as a loss. I don't think the Colts are going to beat the Steelers. They're a very good roster, very good football team. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Very well coached as well. Very good quarterback. All right. Week 16, Atlanta Falcons. This is a winnable game. So, the Falcons they're all right. They're going to run the ball really well. They got Bijan. They already ran the ball extremely well with Tyler Algier. And, I disagree with drafting a running back when you don't need the running back to, himself to fix the run game. You could have pretty damn good running backs. If you could really find running backs like, Arthur Smith could, he could teach them, he can make them into incredible backs. System helps. Then is there really need for going and spending, 7th or 8th overall pick on a running back? When you also had other big needs. When you have other serious needs, you don't draft a running back at 7 or 8. I don't remember if I'm gonna say it was 8. You just don't. You don't draft a running back that high. You don't. It's a luxury to have a running back. It's a luxury to draft a running back in the first or second round, really. Second round, it's understandable. Look at the Chiefs. They drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire at the end of the first round. Didn't make them better. Clyde Edwards just has been disappointing as well. Very different prospects. Let's get that in mind. I'm just trying to state a fact. I'm just trying to get a point across where, you shouldn't spend a top 10 draft pick on a running back when you have other serious needs, when you have other needs that are more important. One of my philosophies is you should reserve the first round for premier needs. For those premium needs, those premium positions. Whether it's a big need or not, other than quarterback, if you already have like a Patrick Mahomes, you obviously don't draft a quarterback. Unless you have someone big under contract, something like that. You always, you never know. Taking the premium position is always going to, you can never use, you can never have enough cornerbacks. You can never have enough edge rushers. You can never have enough weapons. And, receiver-wise. He is a generational talent. And I would say maybe if there's a generational talent, maybe you could justify it. But in the Falcons situation, I don't think it's justifiable. It's just, I know he's going to be great there. He's going to be a very good running back there. Tyler Algier had over 1,000 yards rushing. Cordell Patterson enjoyed an incredible bounce back year. Not last year, but the year before, I think he was incredible. I think he was good last year. I think he was hurt, though. But what I'm trying to say is, when you already have a system in place where you can make any running back work, almost any running back, why go ahead and draft a generational talent when you could use that high draft pick for another premium position? Questionable. But Dabney Afrin. I'm just going to call you out. Dabney, I'm horrible on names, man. I hope Josh Downs works out. He's got worrisome percentiles. Height, he's 7th percentile. And weight, yeah, I agree. I like my bigger guys. I like guys who have size. I'm one of those people, if you don't have size, if you don't have decent weight, if you don't have a nice height, you have to be, you have to do something else extremely well, or you have to be extremely fast, and maybe have good hands, maybe have something you can work with for being so small. And I understand that thought process, but I think Josh Downs is going to beat it. I think he's going to be all right. And that's probably why he fell. But he is such a dynamic slot option that I think it's worth it. I mean, yeah, having Isaiah McKenzie in the slot and then drafting him, but I think both of them can play outside once in a while. But at the same time, I think having good slot options really helps your quarterback on third downs. Just sneaking out there and getting that, a nice little drive starter, a nice little catch. Good hands. Good route runner, Josh Downs is. I think, especially drafting him in the third round at pick 79, I also think that is okay. A lot, some people are saying that they would have taken him late in the first. Okay. Sure. Got him late third. All right, we'll take it. Sander, he's small for college, but all he did was cook. Right. True. Exactly. If you could play, you could play. And I am going to knock you. I am going to kind of hold it against you if you're coming out and you don't have size, you don't have nice weight, you don't have any bulk to you, you don't have any height. I'm going to hold it against you until you could, just be productive. Just, but if, not necessarily hold it against a player, but just be like, he's got to prove it to me that he can do it. You're counting on the exception. Very similar to T.Y. Hilton, he is. Something to think about. But I think T.Y. Hilton also had some size to him. But I think Downs is going to be a rare exception. I'm not just saying that because I like the Colts, just because of that, but I think he's going to work out. Even though his size is scary, even though that's not really, that size isn't necessarily exciting, it's not always the end-all, be-all. That's what I'm trying to say. But I get it. I completely understand because that's how I feel a lot as well. It's definitely how I feel. All right. Yeah, you're right. Our running back room was crowded, and we went ahead and drafted one anyway. Dude from Northwestern, Evan Hull. So I would doubt they would cut him. So who's got to go? Maybe Deion Jackson. 73% contested catch rate at 5'9" was one of the highest. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, some players just play bigger than they are. And that's, when you're 5'9", you need to. You need to be able to find a way to subside it, to kind of like say, hey, just because I'm small doesn't mean I have no dog in me. Sometimes it's not the size of the dog. Sometimes it's the fight in the dog. And that's, that's the most part. The fight in the dog, the work in the dog, that's what makes a player be able to overcome obstacles or not. Oh, my throat is so dry. I'm just talking. But what were we on? The Falcons. Yeah, like even just drafting Evan Hull. Sometimes, even though if you don't need a position, you draft it anyways. If it's the best player available, you're like, damn, I can't pass this guy up. Get it. Get him. You never know what happens. It's the NFL. Nothing's guaranteed. No job is guaranteed. At the very least, you're bringing competition to the position. You're bringing competition to the playing field, and when you do that, it either you really get to learn who players are and how they work when you bring competition in, through competition, because you have to work for it. It's not guaranteed. Like, yeah, if you want that job, you're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to work your damn butt off, and it'll show if players are given everything they have. 40% of rec yards at UNC were his. I'm not worried about Downs. I kind of agree. I'm worried about if his body's going to hold up. That's with any time a player's coming out, like, he's a bit on the slim side. He's just not as heavy. He's just not very bulky. He's smaller, shorter. Not the duration. The durability of your body is a question. And that's where it comes in for me as well. Is he going to be able to stay on the field? Is he going to be able to stay healthy? Now, that doesn't always mean, I'm not saying just because a player is bigger, they're not going to be healthy. You mean, you could be injury prone either way, or you cannot. Look at Paris Campbell. He was, 6'1"? He was hurt all the time. And I don't think he was that light, but, I think he was pretty light. But I'm not trying to just say, if you're small, you're going to get hurt, and that directly correlates to being more injury prone. You can be injury prone if you're big too. I mean, Andrew Luck was 6'4". He was big. Yeah, he got hit a lot as well. But he was injured a lot. More worried about our starting DB group more. Yeah, I agree. That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, even if Isaiah Rodgers does, even if Isaiah Rodgers comes out and he plays incredible, you still have the other side you got to worry about. Like is Julius Randle going to come out straight away? You do have Darius Rush. I think given time, both of those guys can be great cornerbacks. Honestly, I think with time, both of those corners have high ceilings. Dabney, Sander, good point. I also remember that North Carolina's schedule was pretty hard for being in the ACC. They played a lot of ranked teams, including Notre Dame and Clemson. Exactly. Competition matters too. Very important because the speed of the game, much different when you come to the NFL. Even if it's in the SEC or the ACC, the Big 10, Big 12. Very different. It's a whole different ballgame. It really is. But at least you're playing against some talented guys and you're getting somewhat ready for it. All right. So the Falcons, do the Colts beat the Falcons? Yeah, I think the Colts could beat the Falcons. I think Anthony Richardson could have a good game. AJ Terrell, he is an incredible corner. He's not talked about enough, but I think they traded for Jeff Okudah. That was the Panthers. One of those two traded for Jeff Okudah. I'm interested to see if he could figure it out someplace else. But Falcons, I think the Colts are on them. I think we could play some defense. Who's their quarterback going to be? Ritter? I think they want to. I think they want Ritter to start. Give him a chance. I think he could be all right. I don't know if Ritter could be that guy, but I'm one of those people. I kind of want to see Ritter. I want to see if he could do it. I think he could. I think he could be a good quarterback. Feel bad for Paris. What could have been. He was better than Scary Terry in college, but injuries to show the potential Falcons have no D-line. Yeah. Scary Terry. Oh, my gosh. Could you imagine Scary Terry on the Colts? Whatever, right? Nothing we can do about it. Sander. Falcons have no D-line. Yeah. It's another thing. Do they have linebackers? Do they have a D-line? Other than Grady Jarrett, who's there? And you could double team or triple team Grady Jarrett because that defensive line is so sad. It's so bad. So I think the Colts can absolutely pressure Desmond Ridder, not be able to get the ball out to one of his weapons, and Kyle Pitts or Drake London. I think the Colts could beat Atlanta. Absolutely think they could. Raiders in Week 17. Sander will ball for the Giants, Paris Campbell. I think he will. I think he'll be pretty good. As long as he stays healthy, because Daniel Jones, beginning of his career, not good. It was bad. But honestly, dude is coming to his own. I know, and my biggest knock is, he hasn't had the production in the air. He hasn't really taken it to the next step, in that department of his game. He's really taking it to a whole new level with running. He's like, as some people refer to him as Vanilla Vic. I mean, he's got that kind of play to him, and you like it. It's impressive. But, and even passing the ball, he's accurate. Daniel Jones has one of the best deep balls in the game. Has one of the best deep balls. Really think he does. And Paris Campbell's a deep threat. He's bigger. He's a mismatch nightmare. I think Paris Campbell can really kill it. And then on top of that, having a coach like Brian Dable pumps you up. Gonna give him a chance. There's not a ton of competition in the Giants room. There is. There is absolutely. But I think that he's going to thrive, and I think he's going to be incredible over there. Starting to run out of water. It kind of stinks, but Willie Ball. Nah, you good. Sorry. I'm not talking very well. Gotta really get into it. I gotta practice talking a little bit. That's where I'm kind of struggling, I feel. But y'all stick around. If he's healthy, he's instantly wide receiver 1. Okay, I like that. Raiders, week 17. Kind of seems like little rivalry here with the Raiders. Seems like they always trade one every year. Jimmy G, I'm not scared of Jimmy G. Their defense, I'm not scared of their defense. Receivers, do they have any receivers that are actually... Devontae Adams. They have a really good Devontae Adams. Other than that... They do Chandler Jones. Who do they draft at D-line? Tyree Wilson. I think he's a big boomer bust type of prospect. See if the Raiders use him correctly. I think he's going to have to be used correctly early on in his career. But he can be an incredible talent. And if he turns out incredible, maybe it'll take some of the pressure off of Chandler Jones, because Jones just wasn't really there last year. Cornerbacks. Let's look at the Raiders roster, because I can't really name anyone. That's saying something. I don't know some of my team's good either, but what do you guys think about the Raiders? They have Jacoby Myers, Vontae Adams. Oh, okay, so they actually have some good wide receivers. I like Keelan Cole, DeAndre Carter is interesting. Philip Dorsett, we all know Philip Dorsett. Cam Sims. I can't believe Philip Dorsett's still in the league, though. Teams he's found ways to have a few nights, to be all right. He's still in the league. Offensive line, other than Colton Miller, yikes. Must be Josh McDaniels, Raiders. There's no choice. It's a must win. And by that, take Jimmy G. Really be injured anyways. Yeah, maybe we'll play Brian Hoyer. They have Aiden O'Connell too, so
JJ?
Either one. All right, sorry about that. But on the offensive line, you have Colton Miller. Not really too much else there. Colton Miller, I like Colton Miller. I think he's solid. Dylan Parham, Andre James, Alex Bars, Jermaine Illuminor. They have Max Crosby, too. I forgot about Max Crosby. Jerry Tillery, Neil Farrell, Bilo Nichols. I like Bilo Nichols. He's all right. Chandler Jones, Tyree Wilson. Divine Diablo, he's all right. Nate Hobbs, he's an alright cornerback. Marcus Epps, he's interesting. Trevor Mulrig. They have some guys here and there that are interesting. They have some talent. They're a little better than I thought they were. But I don't think they're going to be able to do much against this Colts. Devontae Adams might give us a serious problem. Austin Hooper is Austin Hooper, Michael Mayer, O.J. Howard. Wow, they actually have a nice tight end room. Honestly, that's a nice tight end room. But other than that, other than tight end room, Josh Jacobs. I can't believe I didn't mention Josh Jacobs. Come on. Zamir White. He's an alright running back. Amir Abdullah. He's still in the league. Damn. But no disrespect. Just damn. I just didn't know he was still around. Still playing. But alright. Yeah, we do it to beat Josh McDaniels for freaking screwing us over. Gotta beat him. Gotta freaking beat the dude. Screw him. Is he really doing that great in Las Vegas anyways? Josh McDaniels kind of did us a favor, but it is the fact of him just doing something like that, kind of really, dude, why? Where's the, just why? I think we could beat the Raiders. I'm not too impressed by this this team. There's some nice spots here and there. I say we beat the Raiders, yeah. I say we beat the Raiders. Week 18, once again, Houston Texans, Anthony Richardson versus C.J. Stroud, Mr. Risk It or No Biscuit versus Mr. Safe. Terms of draft prospects, as we've already talked about. Earlier I said I think the Colts are just, even though the Colts I don't really know what they have right now. That's the truth. But do they split with the Texans or do they sweep them? Do you guys think they sweep the Texans? You guys think so? I don't think so. No, yeah. I think we just have a better football team in general. Let's look at the Texans depth chart, though. Maybe not. I want to look at it. Texans depth chart. We'll see how C.J. Stroud is. If C.J. Stroud turns out being all right, but from what we've seen from, oh wow, they actually have some all right receivers. Of course, C.J. Stroud, Davis Mills the backup, Case Keenum the third, Dameon Pierce. Of course, Dameon Pierce is solid. He's very solid. Devin Singletary. Wide receivers, you have Robert Woods, Nico Collins, John Mechie the third, Nathaniel Dell, Amari Rogers, Noah Brown, Xavier Hutchinson. Okay. They have some okay. Maybe the Raiders will put in Aiden O'Connell for garbage. Sam Moore ahead by 40. I like that thinking. I like the confidence. Like it. Let's see. Their offensive line. Larry Tunsil, Kenyon Green, Juice Scruggs, Shaq May. Wow, their offensive line actually is all right, I think. I think their offensive line is all right. So, yeah. They have Will Anderson Jr. Jonathan Greenard had a good year last year. Malik Collins, Sheldon Rankins, I like him. Jerry Hughes. He had a pretty good year last year, Jerry Hughes. Chase Winovich, he's solid. Christian, and then at linebackers, you have Christian Harris, Corey Littleton, Christian Kirksey, Henry Denzel Perryman. I like Denzel Perryman. Cornerbacks, Shaquille Griffin, Derek Stingley Jr., Steven Nelson, Desmond King. Honestly, the Texans aren't as bad as I thought. They have some nice pieces here and there. Aiden O'Connell. he was a quarterback for Purdue. Which he's actually, I thought he's a bit of an underrated prospect. Am I trying to say that he's good? No, I don't think he is really that good. But yeah. So I'll say that the Colts end off with the loss against the Houston Texans. I know it kind of sucks. Maybe they flip flop. Maybe the Colts end off with the win. I like that more. But so let's recap. Week 1, I had them losing. I had them beating the Texans, losing to Baltimore, beating the Rams, losing to Tennessee, losing to the Jags again, losing to Cleveland, losing to New Orleans, losing to the Panthers, losing to the Patriots, losing to the Buccaneers, losing to the Titans, the Bengals, the Steelers, but ending it off on a win against the Falcons. Did I say win or lose against the Raiders? I mean, I guess that's kind of like a 50-50. I'll take the Colts, though. I think the Colts beat the Raiders. Maybe they do enough on a 3-game winning streak, but I guess I have them at 5 wins right now. And honestly, the truth is, probably what's going to be. It sucks that Anthony Richardson will have to face Will Anderson Jr. in the second game of the season on the road. Yeah, in general, I think we all understand that Anthony Richardson is not going to be... He probably isn't going to be great right away. It's probably going to take some time. Although you do like the new voice, and when you have a guy that you know that's going to be there for at least 2 to 3 years, whether he turns out great or not, you get to implement new things to the offense, and your players get someone to really try and believe in, and that's very important. To have one leader, to have one quarterback, to find some stability, as we have learned. You can't just keep band-aiding the most important position in all of football. It's not sustainable. It's not. Your players don't. Your players start not to buy in. Your players get sick and tired of it. So consider this: in Game 2 of the season, 3 out of the 4 top picks will be on the field. Game 2. So what? 3 out of the. Okay. Game 2. 3 out of 4 of the top picks. Of the top 4 picks. So what? First pick, Richardson, he's going to be out there. Julius Brents, he's going to be out there. Josh Downs, he's going to be out there. So yeah, right there. You're probably going to have 3 right there. 4. Was it Blake Freeland, the next guy, right? Or was it that Atamiwa? No, I think Blake Freeland was next. Blake Freeland, I think they can maybe push Blake Freeland into guard. I'd be interested to see that. I'd be interested to see if he could play right guard. I'm okay with leaving Bernard Ryman on the outside for now. I mean, Blake Freeland is like a high risk, high reward type of guy on the left side, but I like to give him a chance at guard. I like to see what he has over there because right guard's a shit show, and it was last year. Because genius Chris Ballard decided to let Mark Lewinsky and Chris Reed go that year, and he thought Danny Pinner was going to be good. Danny Pinner was shit. He was horrible. In game 2 of season. Oh! My bad. 3 out of 4, so what? 1 was Bryce Young. He'll be on the field. C. Stroud will, yeah, they'll both be on the field. Yeah, all 4 of them. Email, yeah. I was I at first when I looked at him, I'm like, ooh, yeah, it's a nice UDFA signing, and I still think it's a nice UDFA signing, but he was undrafted for a reason. Now, I mean, there's not much competition on right guard if you ask me. As I already said, Danny Pinner, he's an okay backup center. Right guard, he's horrible. Will Fries isn't the answer. Matt Pryor was, goodness gracious, I'm happy he's gone. But Emil Ikior, I think he could be the starter. He absolutely could win it. Fly Guy, Colts win the division 12-5. Wow. Are you sure the record's not going to be the opposite way? Don't get me wrong. I think this team's talented. I think this team is talented. Problem is, we thought that the last 2 years haven't even made the playoffs. And I get it. Having a new quarterback every year, having Carson Wentz breakdown didn't help. Having the entire team breakdown didn't help. Having the entire team being bad last year, seems like Frank Reich just lost the team. But I need to see it before I deem them as. Listen, if Anthony Richardson comes out right away and just kills it, let's talk about ceiling and floor. Let's go through every single game and talk about the ceiling and floor. First, we're going to do the ceiling. No, let's do the floor first. So, floor. We lose to Jacksonville both times. We lose to Houston both times. We lose to Baltimore. Maybe we beat the Rams and the Falcons at low. Maybe the Panthers. Maybe we only win 1 game. I think this floor, probably 2 wins. Ceiling, maybe you do beat maybe you knock out the Jaguars at 1. You beat Houston week 2. It's early in the season, so maybe the Ravens are just have that bad game. The Colts start 3-0. Then they beat the Rams 4. Then they beat the Titans 5-0, right? Very unlikely that all happens. But the offensive line plays really well. Julius Brent shows out right away. And Anthony Richardson just shows out right away. That's a lot to ask. A lot. Jaguars, I say you're going to lose in Jacksonville. Absolutely. You lose to the Browns. The Browns are going to be really good this year. Really good. Do not underestimate the Browns. You beat the Saints. You beat the Panthers. We'll say you lose to the Patriots. We'll say you lose to... No, we'll say you beat the Bucs. Lose to the Titans. Lose to the Bengals. Lose to the Steelers. Beat the Falcons. Beat the Raiders and the Texans. So what? I had them losing to Jacksonville, Cleveland, New Orleans. Did I say they lose to the Panthers? No, I'll say they beat the Panthers. Say they lose to Patriots, come back to beat the Bucks, lose to the Titans, lose to the Bengals, lose to the Steelers. Yeah, I guess we're kind of looking at 10-7. But yeah, if Anthony Richardson does come out crazy, if a lot of things go right, sure. But not everything goes right. It just doesn't. But I absolutely 100% respect your take. I don't agree with it. I respect it. And that's what this is all about, And I love the optimism. If you could fire me up about this team, please. Please. And I'd love to be. But after these last 2 seasons, I'm trying to keep calm. I'm trying to keep expectations and hopes at bay. Because I don't think I really need to explain it too much. It's just, there's no point in getting my hopes up too high. I want to see it before I believe it. I don't want to believe it before I see it. That's what I did last year, and it really hurt. And that's why I was so stressed all season during every single game. I was like, come on, dude. When you set your expectations high and you're bad, you don't enjoy the games. You just don't. Because you're like, oh, how are we doing this? How are we losing? How is this happening? How is that happening? And especially when they're playing bad like they were, I wasn't having as much fun watching the games. And as understandable, you guys made it worth it. Made watching it with you guys incredible. I absolutely love that. But it was just like, gosh, I have to sit here and watch the same crap week after week. That's how I felt. And even if I had low expectations, I'd be like, okay, what do we expect? Even towards the middle of the season, I was like, yeah, what do we expect? But when you have your expectations high and your team is playing like one of the worst, it sucks. You have your expectations low, you don't get pissed off, you don't get angry, all that stuff. And it's more enjoyable. But yeah, that's just where I'm sitting right now, All right, but I see where you're going with our picks, which is probably also true. Yeah. I thought you were talking about our picks first. I think the floor is 6-11 still. Okay, that's respectable. I respect it. If they throw Richardson in too soon when he's not ready, our floor is 3 games because Minshew will probably be able to pull out 3 games once he is installed due to Richardson. I think they have to throw Anthony Richardson out there though. With guys, I'll be on for another 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna get off. I think 5-10 minutes. Interesting comments. We'll bull crap for a few minutes, but whatever. I think they're Richardson in, but I think he needs this experience considering I think he had 400 attempts in his career at Florida, just under. Started 13 games, 12 in 2022. I think he needs that experience, man. I think you need to throw him in there, and if he doesn't work out, he doesn't. But if he does, awesome. But I don't think he's got time to sit on the sideline and look at the clipboard. I think he's got to get on the field and he's got to get that experience because that's the best way to learn, honestly, in my opinion. After last season, week 1 versus Texans, I knew we'd have miserable season. I don't even want to put myself back in that position, being in that season. I wouldn't wish anything like that on anyone. Sonder, yeah. The tie was awful. Right, the team. Okay, yeah. I put it on Reich as well, 100%. But also remember, he did have a new quarterback as every week, in live action. Nothing is the same until you have that live action. That's where you really learn about yourself. Players have to play too. But yeah, I agree. Frank Reich was really just man, I think you're, whatever. Sonder, yeah, okay, read that. Reich. Matt Ryan was a turnover machine. Unfortunately. I'm so glad Reich is gone. I agree. I agree all the way with that one. All the way. 100%. Matt Ryan was a turnover. Yeah, I just read that one. So glad Reich is gone now. We would always start slow and finish slow. Season win-losses and in-game we would also have terrible for always. And it was never consistent. It's either we would have a great first quarter, suck the rest of the game. Have a great second quarter, suck the rest of the game. Have a great third quarter, and so on, with the fourth. Have a great first half, suck the second. Suck the first half, have a great second. It's too inconsistent. Right? Because when, yeah, I understand the Wentz situation a little bit. I thought that was the best option at the time. And, the idea of giving former almost MVP and a chance with this former coach who a lot of people thought made him who he was that year. Okay. And, the Colts had we all looked at the Colts as a very good football team at that point. And they were. They just didn't have it mentally. And it comes from the coach and it comes from the quarterback. It came from both. And when you're in the NFL, when you're in pros, you're playing any sport. More times, it's more, of the mental game than anything. We got finessed by the Eagles on that trade. Yeah. You ain't kidding, man. You ain't kidding. But, yeah, guys, I think that's going to do it. Almost 2.5 hours. It's got me. Oh, you're good. Man, you struggling to spell, homie. I don't know why I keep saying homie. It just doesn't sound right coming out of my mouth. But, you got finessed by the Eagles. Yeah, we did. But, we got you. You don't need to correct yourself. If I understand you, I understand you. I understand it. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it. I'm going to hop off. I am tired. I'm going to go eat. I'm hungry. It's almost 10 o'clock. I got in here at like 7:30. It's almost 10 o'clock. Goodness gracious. Long show, but I had a good time talking with you guys. We had our first member, Marsh. Appreciate it, man. I appreciate everyone that stopped by. Remember, though, don't ever feel like you have to buy a membership. Don't ever feel like you have to do anything. You being here and me just knowing that you support, that's everything to me. Yeah, I may ask for you to subscribe, to like, to put the noise on, but, so when you're subscribing to a YouTube channel, it's free. You don't like it? You say, screw him, I don't like him, he sucks. Unsubscribe, move on. Throw a dislike on this video. But, yeah. Got fleeced by Howie Roseman of all people. He's turning into GM. Fins up. Have a great evening. Having a great evening. Great show. Great show so far. Great show. But here, I will actually, I'm going to get my Discord link because we could continue talking in Discord. I'm absolutely fine with that. It's just almost 2.5 hours. Yeah. You get tired. Throat is dry. Also, waiting for my capture card to come in. Having a problem with that. It'll get figured out. So I could play Madden. Maybe play some games. I want to do a Colts franchise. I want to, when the new Madden comes out, I want to get the Madden. I want to have a Colts franchise. Maybe once every week. Oh, no, I'll probably post some more. No, I think we'll stick with once every week. Maybe have like Madden Monday. Maybe go live, play some Madden. I've wanted to do that for quite some time, and I'm waiting for my game capture to come in. So if that comes in, we'll do that. And ultimately, I want you guys to let me know what you think of this setup. Do you think it looks nice? Do you think the yellow, the brick, the blue, do you think everything goes together well? You guys have to enjoy it. It's up to you guys how everything, if something looks good or not. I could love it, but if you guys don't like it, if not appealing to you guys, then it doesn't matter. But I honestly think this is I love this setup. I love how it looks. It's just nice. It's clean. It has, my name on the top, my logo, my little slogan, where every fan is welcome. I need to brush up on my yeah, I'm okay. I'm inconsistent. Although the last franchise I've been playing, my last season, I threw like 45 touchdowns to 13 interceptions. It was. That's not bad for me. So yeah, previously I'd throw like maybe 40 touchdowns, but maybe I'd throw like 60 interceptions. But just how it goes. But let me drop the Discord. I know I just said I was going to do this, but I'm going to drop the Discord link in the description. This way, there's other people, if you're already in the Discord, you good. Whatever, right? But so much that goes on in Discord. Let me get before y'all leave and say screw it, Tim, I'm done. I don't want to listen to this, but all right. Let's get that in there. All right. You guys join that Discord. Talk about football whenever we want, really. There's other people in there. You talk about somebody will answer. It's pretty active for only having 30 people, but I appreciate them all. Appreciate all of you guys. That's going to be it. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate you, Dabney. Appreciate you, Sonder. Yeah, that's it. Marsh, first member. Appreciate all of you guys coming through. Gold. Had a good time talking some Colts football. Hope to do this again soon. I think I'm going to try to do this more often. This needs to be done more often. It's a way for you guys to stay involved, to stay, just connected. I feel like when I just post videos, you guys aren't as, I don't know. It's just not as interactive, and you guys deserve to, just chill and talk football just as much, live. But I've lost 3 AFC championships in a row. That's rough. That's rough. That's definitely rough. But yeah, that's actually gonna do it. I'm for real this time. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Sonder. Thank you, Dabney. Make sure you guys join that Discord. Even follow the Twitter, follow the Instagram. Stuff is there on the bottom. Post quotes on Instagram. I sometimes just talk about random stuff on Twitter. Depends on what it is. That's it. I have a TikTok. I don't really post on it. So, this is JDW. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is JDW Sports Talk Show.